Hello, hello, welcome in everyone. So, today we're going to be doing a reading around healing. This is going to be a message of healing. It's going to be a little bit different to how I normally read, but this feels like the right way of doing it. I don't know if it means that I'll continue doing this or if this is just to get the energy out there, but it really does feel like this is a message to help you. That's it. There's not a you need to do this or talk to you about this or that. You can take that as that, of course, but it really does feel like this is going to be kind of like how, you watch meditations or listen to calming music to help soothe. It's not super active or trying to over process or think. This is just to sit in, I don't know, like cool water or warm water or have a bath or something like that. This is not exactly what you have to do, but that's kind of like the energy of it. It's just helping you relax, helping you heal. So I have no idea how this is going to go, but this is what I was getting while I was getting ready for this stream, and I was like, what? Um, you know, but spirit does whatever spirit does, and so I'm going to bring you a message of healing today. So we'll pick the first pile. So this will be pile 1. I like these two, they're just coming through. I want to actually do this one and this one, which feels really cool, and it actually feels really good. The way I was connecting was I don't know what's happened recently, but things have started to shift. And so the way I normally connect is, lie back, do a meditation, that kind of thing. But this felt very active. I didn't feel like I needed to take myself out of the situation. I just turned it on, kind of like a light switch, instead of getting the oil, filling up the lamp, lighting the match, changing the, how much oxygen is able to burn the flame. You just switch on the light. It felt like that. It felt like instead of doing this, you just switch on the light. So just turn the light on. You don't have to go through all this pageantry type stuff to get into a state where you can start reading or start doing something specifically. So we'll see how that develops and goes on from here. Maybe that's just something around this month, or if this is something to continue. Doesn't matter. It's right now. This feels right. So without further ado, let's have a look at pile 1. So pile 1, you have Archangel Gabriel and Turquoise, safe to be seen. Do like that. Okay. It's card number 11 with the Crystal Angel 444. For pile number 2, you have Ascended Master Babaji and Diamond, So It Shall Be. This is the crystal number 333, card 35. And for pile 3, you have Ascended Master Merlin and Mystic Merlinite. Mystic Merlinite. Read the energy. With crystal card number 333, this is the card number 34. So these will be the 3 piles for you to pick from. Feel free to pick all, one, whichever ones call you. Remember, this is a message of healing. So you can relate this to anything. You can even just not listen too much to it and just kind of sit with the energy. If that makes sense, just be open. That's it. Just be open. You don't have to try to figure out something of where this may attach into your lifestyle or into your life right now. This may be just something to sit in. You don't talk to the bath and say, are you going to heal me of this and this and this and this? You just lie in the bath and relax. So sit back, relax, pick whichever pile calls to you. Down in the description, you'll be able to jump straight to your video by the timestamps. Otherwise, I'll leave you to it. Hello, hello, welcome to your reading pile number 1. So, you've chosen today Archangel Gabriel and Turquoise, Safe to be Seen. Archangel Gabriel is a super interesting archangel, right? A lot of people who will work with or connect with Archangel Michael, generally will come through as very masculine. For people who will connect with Archangel Ariel will see her as very feminine, right? Whereas Gabriel, from one person to another, generally will come through as either or. They're not necessarily male or female. Archangels, it's more of like energetical. They just stick with maybe one or the other, but Gabriel seems to be who they are regardless of how they come through, and helps us be who we are regardless of what we think we should or shouldn't be. So helps us kind of like coaches, I feel like coaches us into being our best version of ourselves. So this is a really nice one to come through. Also, Turquoise was popping up with I don't know too much about Turquoise. All I know from TV shows pretty much in the United States, American TV, is like it has a lot of significance with Native American tribes, certain tribes over there. So while I know I don't know too much about it, I know it's very expensive, so that's probably why I don't know too much about it. But very nice gem as well. Safe to be seen. This is really just feeling like it is okay to be who you are, and it almost feels like be who you are, not because the usual saying, because there's no one else like you. Yes, absolutely true, there isn't, but also what's the purpose in living if you have to hide who you are? It's time to just be. Don't have to scream from the rooftops unless you feel like it. Do it in a way that feels correct, feels safe, of course, to be you. But this is all about just choosing to be you. That's it. So this is a message of healing. I feel like that card has really set the stage, right? Card 11, it's an angel number. It's also an archangel coming through. And then we've got the crystal number 444. So a lot of messages just in that one card. Also, it does look like there is a moon on the card too, which is our inner world, bringing our inner outwards, bringing who we truly are outwards. What's really important to us. Don't worry about what's happening halfway across the globe or underground or in the sky. What's happening here now? How do you feel? Because if you can help yourself be good or be in a state of balance, then that's when you can start focusing on what's happening around and the people around. It can take you 5 seconds to get into balance. It can take you years. It's okay. It's all a path and process and journey. Okay. Looks like the camera's a bit. See how that goes. Okay, some of these cards might have nudity on them. It's not graphic, it's just kind of, I guess, artistic, but it'll be fine. I'm gonna flip these over first, and then we'll get into these 3 piles. Okay, so you have the Divine Matrix. It says interconnectedness, synchronicities, and coincidences. There's been a lot of things popping up with regards to how coincidental certain things are. There's this person who I've been following on YouTube, just shorts, and he's keeping things very scientific, but I feel like he's slipping into spirituality and he's starting to like think broadly. I guess if you want to do that, you can really just do quantum physics and that'll flick you over to like certain things happening here and there and influencing each other, right? That could go into a very long conversation. But we'll stick to just what this is talking about. Things just lining up, certain things just happening when we get into a certain state, or we've processed a challenge, things just working out, right? Things do just work out if we let them, if we don't try to force them or anything like this. This is about understanding, seeing those coincidences, those Godcidences, they call it, those synchronicities. If you're in a place of challenge, know that this is all temporary. It's all very temporary. You're never stuck in the same job forever. You're never stuck with, like, as a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old forever. We can take those challenges and those pains with us, and those learnings, but we can always shift them as well. Sometimes more actively, sometimes not. And it sounds like from this card coming through, the universe is showing you a way forward or a way out or a way up, you know, whatever you want to call it. So interconnectedness kind of like feels like things happen for a reason. They may not be what we want in the moment, but we can see the benefit after the fact. In hindsight, I'm glad that I found this person cheating on me, right? Because then it got me out of that relationship, got me to move on. It was the push that I needed. Some people will find that, and that won't be what causes it to quit, right? It's just, you know, sometimes those kind of connections are just not for us, or friendships are for us, or the food or whatever isn't for us. Going out all the time isn't for us. It was whatever. It really is whatever. Speaking of sitting in a bathtub, at the start of the video, you've got take positive action. You know, it doesn't have to be super like, oh, okay, this means this and I have to go do this. This is not about processing. Slow down. This is fine. Just take the action that feels correct to you, and that's not like revenge, or it's not about getting back at someone. It's just like, what is actually the best step forward for me? How can I be proud of how I respond, or how can I just respond in a way that feels good to me? Because that's really what this is about. This is about just doing what you need to do to get into a good, peaceful state of mind. And you've got the Golden Palace reversed. Do you know what this feels like straight away? Golden Palace is about getting like riches, abundance, everything like that. This is the kind of like turning it on its head and being like, where does that come from, right? We're looking at the roots of the tree. We're looking at the plant that's kind of swamping the Golden Palace. So what is actually important to us? Is it what we're told? Am I told that to be a successful person, you have to be a doctor, you have to be like this kind of job, you have to have this many children, you know, 2.5 or whatever the average is. Obviously can't have half a child, but you know what I mean? Like, you know, all these things. But is that right for me? Contemplate some of this in a way. Think about it. Don't have to go too deep, but just think about this. Is all about thinking and feeling and like expressing. Very, very, very nice. I do like the interconnectedness too, because everything has purpose and reason. Sometimes we never know what it is. Maybe we don't know in this lifetime. I have no idea. Can't say I would be able to say anything for everything, right? But there must be some kind of like learning. And even if it detours us, or we hurt ourselves in sports or something, maybe because we're not resting, you know, it could be anything. It's not the best way, but when we get sick and then we keep going to work, and then we get like, we start having like heart palpitations or something at work, but we keep working anyway, something's got to give, right? And we don't want to leave it to the very last moment where we crash and then cause an accident to ourselves or something worse. So no, everything has its kind of place and meaning to slow us down generally. Okay, so I'm going to grab some more cards. So I feel like this is going to be the support. You've got freedom. I do like that. You can see the magic that's all around when you kind of are in a place of, you know, enjoying what you're doing, enjoying the people you're around, not going to meet family because, you haven't seen them for a while, so you need to tick this off so you don't feel bad about not seeing them, right? What do you really feel? We're going to get into the nitty gritty. Are you being present in the moments you are with your family, your child, your food, your work, your colleagues, you know, all that stuff? Being very present. Don't have to be or feel chained down to anything. I feel like that's a very old way of being. You also have the Squire and Beginner Sword. This is practice, new beginnings, and journey. I feel like this is a good turning point. This doesn't even have to be like a death and rebirth kind of situation. This is almost like the choice to make the change. Instead of going for the goal that you think you should go for the goal that you feel is correct for you. Because you're worth it, right? Do you? Especially if you're not experiencing the things you want to enjoy, right? Why, if you do suffer from like stress, anxiety, anything like that, I get it as well. I don't suffer from it all the time, but I definitely get bouts of it occasionally throughout the year. It could be anything, honestly. I couldn't really pinpoint it, but it'll be just like me needing to connect with myself and be present, need to ground, and need to just check in what is this feeling trying to tell me. Same with happy feelings. We don't really question them, of course, because we're enjoying it, but why am I feeling like this? Is it because I'm slowing down? Is it because I'm just enjoying looking at like my niece or nephew just enjoying a piece of fruit that they're eating? You know what I mean? Sometimes just watching people or children do really basic things is like comforting because they're just so connected with what they're doing, especially if they're a child. Okay. A lot of swords. Goodness. Yeah, definitely it's getting a lot off your plate. Time to start taking off the weights that are holding you back. The Eight of Swords is an illusion. The Two of Swords is telling you that, you know, a choice needs to be made, and you know what? There's no holding back from this or stopping. You can choose, like, whatever you choose is absolutely fine, but you have to choose something. That's it. You have to choose something. You have to. There's always progress. There's always movement. Can't stay stagnant forever. Not that I feel you are. It's just how it's coming through. Finding really real peace and abundance. The Queen of Pentacles, even here, it's not about being rich, right? It's about being fulfilled and abundant. And abundance isn't just money. It's all sorts. It's energy, it's time. Like, I might want more time and you might want more money. That doesn't mean that yours ideal is better than mine or my ideal is better than yours. We might be doing exactly what we should be doing in that moment. So the Queen of Pentacles comes and goes in different waves. We could have our Queen of Pentacles when we're younger as like building up enough funds to buy the house we really want. Perfectly acceptable. And then as we get older, it could be having exactly what we need to live and thrive, and then having more time to enjoy that. So we might work less, make less money, but have more time for ourselves. You know, it's all about balance and finding what is true to our purpose in this moment. Nothing's wrong or bad. It is just, it is, and we decide with whatever pops up in front of us what we choose to do. People that generally I feel are kind of stuck or lost are ones that are waiting for someone else to make the decision for them, or waiting for a sign or something. You know, sometimes that's fine, but this feels like it's time to take action towards goals or things that you feel drawn to. And I like this finishing off. It's highlighting the, I think it's, I'm not very good with constellations, but I'm pretty sure it's Syrian, right? The Sirius star system up here. The they call it the sisters. I remember 6 sisters, something like that. Anyway, this is the Three of Cups. This is actually just enjoying life. This is all about celebration, being with the people that we want to be with. I like how here these 3 women are looking up into the sky, right? Just being very present with the people they're with and also the environment they're in. This is all about presence. Your reading is really about being present. That's it. I'm going to pull one more card from the Starlight Cards. That's what true freedom is. It's not all the stuff that we're told it is. Might even want to start letting go of some stuff. You know, that is it Marie Kondo, how she's like, I like this or something, does it give me happiness, all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do it like her. She can just be a guide, right? She can literally, her program, her way of being can just be a guide. This is all about getting into a beginner mindset. You can see the Squire is excited because this is a journey he wants to be a part of, even though it may be difficult or challenging or hard or just, you know, not easy. If it's part of what he wants, then why can't he just go do it? And he can, because he's doing it. It's hard starting over. It really is. It's hard starting over. But it's so much better than letting life just decide for you. And you just being kind of like a passenger in your own life. Outer Space, don't get this one often. It says, take the time to heal, grow, and expand. And remember, this is all about healing. The healing can be active, kind of like how I started the stream. I didn't do all the usual stuff. It felt like I just turn the switch on once I'm here. When I sit down, I get ready. I, you know, kind of bless the stream, I guess, or bless the video. And then we begin. Take time to heal, grow, and expand. That's what it's all about. Growth and expansion. Now, you don't have to do anything super active or like make drastic changes right now. This is just about thinking about things. Thinking about who are you, thinking about who you are as one, right? As a connected consciousness. Let's say, what is really important? Is it the things you think they are, or what? Ask yourself. Just ask yourself point blank. What actions can I take now to help me in this moment? Not based off anyone else or what anyone else thinks. What does freedom look like to you? What does beginning again look like to you? What does abundance look like to you? What are the things you're thinking and feeling of? They're trying to tell you something. If you are feeling like any of these, just ask, why am I feeling like this? What is this about? What is it trying to tell me? What am I trying to do and collect and achieve? How many things am I trying to do? It's a whole lot of conversation with yourself. These readings are starting to turn into self conversations, I guess. That's how you can heal and be on a path of growth. The earth is like, not the earth. I mean, the universe is expanding, right? It's constantly expanding very, very quickly, it looks like. But I guess it's, you know, the universe in context of like our planet and us as humans is just completely impossible for our brains to wrap around, right? If we zoom out of our solar system, that's a huge amount of space and stuff to travel in. It's just not even mentally possible to think about. Then we zoom out to the universe, and then we've got all these like galaxies and cluster galaxies and all this stuff. It's just too much, right? It's just way too much. So this is pulling things back in. Your reading is all about taking notice of yourself, your inner universe, let's say, and then working outwards from there. But all you have to do, I feel, is just be yourself. That's it. You're not here to do or be anything else other than what you're trying to do and what you want to do. Now, And if you're unsure of what that is, take some time to ask yourself. You're the best guide for yourself, right? Your guides, spirit guides, if you want to ask them, you know, this is all part of you as well. They're all here for you in this incarnation. But it is essentially you deciding, making the final decision. So take that what you will. I hope this reading finds you well, and I hope you enjoyed. But that is the end of the reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. Take care of yourself, and I hope you enjoyed. Welcome to your reading pile number 2. So today you've chosen for your message of healing Ascended Master Babaji and Diamond, so it shall be. This was like a perfect card to come through for how I felt the readings were going to go today. This wasn't a message of needing you to think about your circumstances and figure out how this message relates to this or that. This is just about taking a breath, lying back, listening to the message, and just seeing how you feel afterwards. That's basically it. This is a healing message. I hope it feels like, you know, light codes, I guess, or light waves coming through to just help you. Almost like standing in the sun sometimes and just feeling the rays on your skin. That's how I hope this comes through. And I do like that it just says, so it shall be. You know, this is the step forward, or this is what I decide, or this is how things are. And well, now I can respond with how I would like to shift or move or stay put, you know, whatever. Babaji is also a very interesting character, high vibe. I always feel he's very mysterious as well, and I kind of found it interesting that Merlin came through another very mysterious figure. But Babaji always feels like consciousness expansion, that kind of thing in diamonds, especially in this kind of like climate, right? Diamonds are seen as very precious, even though are they? I guess if they stop mining them, they become rarer, and then they mine them again and it becomes less rare. So I guess it depends. But you know, very hard on the Mohs scale, very hard, used for many different things, very useful as well for keeping their shape and not breaking. All right, so let's take a look at what comes through today. I feel really blissed out almost doing this reading. It's really strange. I don't take any like anything, but it just feels very like so chill. Okay. Whoa, that was not supposed to happen. I was gonna grab a card and then they fell, so I was like, okay, maybe not that card then. Yeah, this one. It's interesting with So It Shall Be. Some things just are, right? We don't have to put up with it. We don't have to stay in that friendship, connection, relationship, work. Sometimes some stuff is just what it is. And we have to work around it, of course. We don't have to stay or feel like we're stuck. Okay, I'm going to start with these cards. So you've got reverse disassociation. It's an interesting way of wording it. Disassociation, from what I understand, is kind of feeling disconnected from your body or out of body. I would say ungrounded, feeling ungrounded. Whereas reverse would be feeling so grounded that you're not connected to your soul, you're more connected to the earthly things. Not too sure, but it's showing there's two sides to this. There's the key and the lock. There's a balance. There's like, I don't know if this is necessarily feminine, but it feels like feminine, masculine kind of like energies. Like which is more important in this moment, which is like being pushed down, which is being pushed up. This is trying to balance that, I feel, with this one. It's trying to balance and connect with who you are. Certain, you know, sometimes we get diagnosed with certain situations or issues or mental health things, whatever it is. Sometimes it just is, but how can I respond to that? How am I going to let that? Am I going to let the illness take over who I am and tell me where I go next and what I do? Or am I going to take charge of it and own what I have and just work with it? You know, this is kind of how it's coming through. It could be even like losing a situation like a family member or a friend who you're no longer friends with, right? That can be where certain things you want answers, and sometimes we don't get that, and that's okay. It's not about what information we always get, it's about how we respond and react. So you've got flying reverse. This isn't about rushing into anything with the flying reverse. Flying reverse is sending you to a new place, getting you to the other side, and I feel like that's perfectly fine. You'll get there. Nothing stays the same forever, but it takes time. You know, it takes active like work and time. The flying reverse is like trying to just run away or disassociate really from the situation, get out of it. And I feel like sometimes that's healthy to a point, but when it turns into like many different things, you don't want to be disassociating out of yourself or anything like that while around, you know, healthy conversation, that kind of thing. But if something just like kind of tweaks you already out of there, that's too much of a knee-jerk response, I feel. Okay, so you've also got the Halls of Amenti Initiation. This is secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, and initiations. Interesting one to come through. It always feels like a need to dive into who we really are. Who are we? Who am I? How have I got to where I am now, physically, mentally, emotionally? Just really sitting with that. No judgments of any of it. No judgments of disassociating. You know, it's not about judging who we are. It's just about understanding and comprehending why we're feeling like how we feel. Okay, we'll see if we can get another message. Yeah, this one. You've got retreat. It almost made me think of retreat to recharge, which again would make sense. This is Spirit Guardian of Winter, and I guess if you're in the US, coming into summer, right? Just because the seasons change doesn't mean you don't need time for yourself or need to connect with your loved ones, connect with yourself. It's okay to take some time for you. Interesting cards all down the bottom, right? This darker cards coming through. Not negative dark, but just like physically darker. So you've got the Star Child and the Fire Arrow. So this is multi-dimensional visions and Starseed. This is about connecting with your true self, I feel. There's no tricking or bypassing or just kind of like ignoring with these cards that are coming through. You'll get to where you need to be. It's just give it some space and time. Certain things are what they are, and that's okay. Like, we don't have to do anything about it. It's like accepting when a relationship ends, right? We go through grief until we get to acceptance where it's time to move. Time to actually pick up and move forward, because we're doing it for ourselves. Got the Fool coming out, the Seven of Pentacles, and the World card. Really nice that the Fool in the World, and the Seven of Pentacles is that work and effort. What you put in will come to fruition. Just takes time, takes gentle care, like a gardener, right? Planting the seeds of what they want to grow. What's really important to you? Don't just say what you think people want you to say or anything like that. What do you really feel? Sometimes even just talking about it to yourself helps bring it out and lets it go. That's a huge healing opportunity for sure. I mean, of course, these are all going to come back to who we are. You might have even, you know, not, this isn't going to be used as like an excuse though, but maybe you brought in something from a past lifetime or something like that, or a pattern So the patterns that have occurred in this life are still choices and things we've created and made. But maybe it's come through from somewhere else. This could also be about seeing ourselves as bigger than just this one lifetime or this one situation that's occurring in our life, right? Sometimes we let the annoying neighbor be our whole existence, and it doesn't have to be. It's just one thing that's happening in one life at one moment in time. But I like this beginning and ending, like this growth and change from the unexpected. Because I like the flower of life here, because the flower of life is about birthing anything, creating everything. Anything that's possible will come from the Fool card. It's interesting down the bottom, I'm getting like know your worth. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles solidifies that. She popped out for the last reading as well in a slightly different way. But just with these three cards, right? Try not to do things based on fear or worry or lack. Especially if you don't lack. You know, if you don't lack something, then why would you be scared of lacking it? Because it's not true. It's untrue. Getting into a place of bliss and peace and support has to be an inside job before it can be an outside job. I know a lot of people do work outwardly because they don't want to focus inwardly, and that can work for a time, but you have to grow as well. You're here to not just help others grow, but help grow yourself. You're going to be in the best condition when you decide to let yourself heal and grow. Don't get taken away by wishes and hopes and like quick wins. This is definitely about the efforts you put in, and like focusing on the things that will bring peace and joy. This could also be wanting a connection or wanting a relationship or wanting the relationship you're in to level up, right? It takes effort, time, patience, conversation, all that kind of stuff. But even then, you know, that disassociating thing with him, this guy kind of like being outside of his body, sometimes it's fine if you're actively choosing it, but if you notice that you're not connected with the work you do, or when you're driving home, you feel like you get too much out of your body, right? This is time to connect and understand why. What is happening that's trying to teach you? This can be walking through some of the challenging stuff we have within ourselves. This is the only way to heal. You can't heal by ignoring, you know, the cut that you get on your body. You can't just ignore it and be like, if I don't look at it, then it's not bleeding, right? No, it's bleeding. So you might be starting to get into a point of that, which can activate the fight or flight mode, right? Flying is great because it gets you to where you need to be. Sometimes this can denote travel as well. But first, you have to understand where you're going, why you're going there, and what the purpose is, so you don't just like fly out and then crash. Because crashing will slow you down, but it's also, there's much more healthier and nicer ways to get there. And you're not getting any cards that are really saying that anything's, you know, out of line or order or anything. This is just about connection. Some things are, you are. If you're feeling any kind of way, connect with who you are. Give yourself space as well. Give yourself respect. Like healing is respectful. Respect your body and yourself. Grateful for your body and self. You know, it's here to support you, and we can be pretty hard with ourselves. Just sit with your own energy as well. What do you like about it? What is healing about it? What is helpful? What is it trying to tell you? All this is going to help you with whatever you decide from whatever is, whatever, I keep saying whatever, but what kind of situation you're in, what kind of energy are you requiring in your life? What kind of things do you want to see? What kind of things do you want to change? You know, this is all good questions to ask, and let yourself answer those in whatever way feels correct to you. Because that's how you can get to completion and goals being met. And it takes work and effort. It takes time. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Hopefully this has helped you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, welcome to your reading, pile 3. So you've chosen Ascended Master Merlin and Mystical Merlinite. Read the energy. Interesting when we're doing a healing reading. The message I got from it was a little bit different to just a normal healing message. Not that there's any normal healing message, right? But it kind of feels like you're connecting with, or you've opened up part of your gifts, or opened up, I don't know if you've opened it or if it's just opened up. If you're starting to feel a little bit all over the place, that could be why. There might be something there. Don't worry too much about it. This just really does feel like a nice message of healing, and also a message to show a gift that's coming through as well. Pretty different to the rest of the piles, but you know, this is the first time Merlin's come out for me as well in a reading. So it's a nice occasion. It's a rare occasion, right? Okay, so grab some cards. So yeah, this is a healing reading. We'll see maybe your own healing abilities and how you manipulate and look at energy. Maybe you'll start to see things clearly or feel things. You'll just know. Oh, it's an interesting one for sure. Okay. Whoa. All right, we'll take the top one since that one wanted to fly off. And we'll start with these 3 cards. Right. Okay, so you've got the Chamber of the Violet Flame, Karmic Release, Radical Transformation. Yeah, you're almost getting a reading today. For healing though, perfect, right? Knowing exactly what you're holding on to and what you need to release is a huge boon to understand and know what's causing you holdbacks or setbacks or things like that. It's generally always something that we're holding on to, even if we can blame someone else for it, right? It's like, this person's doing it to me, that's why I can't get to here. It's like, well, why are we going through this person to get to here? Why don't we find our own path, make our own way towards our goals? Do we need to involve this person? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, are we interacting in this situation or a particular way? Trying to burn off the past and the blame will be what sets us up so we can head towards our goals, so we can heal, so we can grow, so we can expand. You also got to learn from karma. Yeah, learning from past perceived mistakes. I feel like everything that we do leads us to a path where we can grow and learn something from. Even if it's a difficult relationship or situation. I remember being with a very difficult, challenging person, let's just say, as a relationship. And it only lasted like 2 months because I knew that this was just not right. And I got out of it. And I was glad, but there was a huge amount of learning from that. It's like I could turn into blame. It's like, well, you were silly for letting this person in, you were silly for doing this, you know, this kind of stuff. But I was just took it as like a huge lesson. Obviously, in hindsight, at the time, it was going through a breakup, I guess. Even if it was short, it was still quite quick and intense, I guess, to get to where it got to. But it was, you know, the right choice in the end. So learning from our challenges, difficulties, is how we overcome karma, as we call it. How we overcome cycles and repeating the same mistakes or same things that we keep repeating. If we're enjoying the cycle, sure, that's fine. But if we're not enjoying it, let's jump to the next opportunity or learning path. It may be harder, but at least, or it may be easier, we don't know. But at least it'll be different from what we're experiencing. Especially if they're doing this life after life, right? This is about release, both of them. Wow, and you've got metamorphosis here right next to radical transformation. Radical transformation is deep transformation. This is why I feel like your gifts are opening up through the challenges and the learnings. Not always great, but sometimes I feel like instead of getting like people think gifts are clairvoyance or seeing auras or something like that, and that's all fun. But really, it's being confident with who we are. That's a huge gift. Being happy with our path, finding our purpose, finding meaningfulness in every day and every part of life, and joy in life. That is better than being able to connect with the spirit or anything like that, because you don't need to connect with spirit because you already are living as if and with spirit at like the forefront of your mind or forefront of your heart. So this is an interesting reading for sure. I feel like the symbols here of the sun, the moon, the hands there, it's like, it's all within your capable hands. Even the song playing now is called Miracles, and it's like, do you believe in miracles? It's by Daniel Glavin. If you want to check it out. Yeah, but anyway, it's just asking, do you believe in miracles? Like, do you believe there's a possible out here, or a way, not out, it's probably a harder word, but a way forward? I feel like this is a huge boon and opportunity to grow. But you always have a choice whether you take that growth or not. Sometimes some of the growth is scary and it's too soon, or it's just you're not ready. But you would be surprised at the power of what your soul can endure, or your body can kind of like experience, right? Just take the risk, take the leap. That's how this feels. You've got the reflecting pool with stillness. I do like that. Very nice. She's looking in the water and she sees the swan. She sees herself as the swan, I guess. How do you see yourself? How do you feel about where you're at in life at the moment? What is that thing that's kind of calling to you? Is it something odd or different or unique? What's the harm in looking into it? If you don't continue with it, that's fine, right? You don't have to. Why not just give yourself an opportunity to be fulfilled or happy? Yeah, look, hidden power. You've got the savior and dandelion. This is hidden power, gentle, and attraction. When I first created this card, it was kind of like the lost. He was like lost, but he wasn't really lost when I looked at him and felt his energy. He's kind of like, he's not lost. He's just very connected with what's around him at that time, which happened to be a field of flowers, a field of dandelions, right? So just a really nice, peaceful kind of like image. Both of these are very peaceful, especially if there's a lot of change. This is taking time to reflect on who I am and where I'm going and what am I transforming into. What kind of version of me am I transforming into? More sun and moon. So you've got temperance. You've got the 6 of Wands. You also have the Hermit. Interesting. You have the 9 of Pentacles, very nice. The 2 of Swords. And the Justice card. Interesting starting off with Temperance and Justice, like as first and sixth in the tarot kind of section of this reading. Doesn't mean too much necessarily, but I always feel Temperance is harping to balance and justice is about balance, right? Doing what's right, and also um, merging kind of different elements and creating something that works with different elements. I said before, but just like anything could be communicating with different people or realizing where we're putting too much of our energy or whatever. The Six of Wands, I do like this one. It like spotlights on you. This is about you and your growth, and not about anyone else's, not about blaming anyone else. This is about you making decisions for yourself. Giving yourself some peace and time. You got the Stillness card and the Hermit card. This is all about understanding your abilities, understanding your skills, your strengths, you know, all that kind of stuff. Also, the things that are perceived weaknesses, right? Understanding what we think are weaknesses and checking in, are they actually? Or have I just decided that's what my weakness is and it always will be? We change, we always change. Nothing stays the same. I don't always think we have necessarily weaknesses. More like, I could say technically a weakness for me would be being an astronaut, right? Because I'm not, and I don't have any of the skills. But is that part of what I'm called to do in this lifetime? No. So why does it matter? It's not a weakness. It's just something that doesn't matter to me. It's like people that want to run a marathon, right? That may be really what they're called to do, is run this marathon coming up. But if that's not for you and you're questioned about it, it's like, it doesn't matter because that's not for me. Does that mean it shouldn't be in the world? Of course not. It helps other people, but it's not for me. This is about finding what's right for you. Practice, practice, practice with this card. It's like, you know, she's getting pulled different ways or getting caught. It kind of feels like she's getting told different messages. Not really different, but just like many messages, and she's trying to understand what they mean. Like here, she's blindfolded, so she doesn't know which direction the ravens or crows or whatever they are, which direction they're in, right? So she has to focus on her other senses. She can't see them to just rely on that. If she blocks her ears, she won't be able to hear them. She'll have to sense them and maybe feel the whoosh of their wings fly past, you know, that kind of thing. I do love this card coming through for you though. This is all about prosperity and growth. This can be a sign of prudence, right? Knowing when and where and what is right for you. It's not about more. It's about just knowing what is the correct amount for here and what is the correct amount for there. Your healing is really interesting because it's like very much a whole big shift here. One moment. Excuse me. I was going to mute that, but I couldn't. But you've been given a lot of time to connect with yourself and understand your own self, like your own gifts, your own purpose, your own meaning. This healing message is really just telling you that you are expanding and growing. We'll have a look at what card. Okay, this one. We've got phases. So it says shine even when you're not whole. I do like that. Again, I don't think anyone's necessarily blaming, but it just keeps coming up that this is not about blame or trying to find an out, or like, I haven't got to here because of this person or that thing, or 20 years ago this person wasn't very nice to me, so it's their fault that I don't have that now. What's really the truth? What's really going on? And again, not about blame, just taking ownership, gratitude, appreciation, forgiveness, all this kind of stuff to really go get what is right for you. Being in a job that isn't draining, being in a place that is like, you know, you can find balance with. Of course, no one necessarily wants to work in a particular place, but if it gives you what you need and you can find good balance there, then go do that, right? If it doesn't, if it's like great money but too draining and you're not feeling connected or fulfilled, then don't do it. Find what works for you. If you want to hustle and do like 3 or 4 jobs and you're enjoying that, then go do that, right? This isn't about judging any of it. This is just about what's right for you. You. Okay. Do love the phases though. Everything comes and goes. Nothing is set in stone forever. it always changes. Even the pyramids have eroded over time, right? Things shift and change, some slowly, some not so slowly. The sun will eventually finish and end, but well before anybody that's alive on Earth right now will know about, unless there's some drastic change, but I don't think so. Anyway, hopefully this helps with your healing. Just know that you're growing, things are shifting and changing, kind of like going through a growth spurt, right? Your limbs get longer, you start tripping over things. Well, I did. Things that things aren't going to be perfect straight away. It's like learning a new job. You don't do everything perfectly immediately. It takes time. You're learning, you're growing, you're changing. It's all good. All right. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. I hope this has been helpful and you've enjoyed the reading. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next reading.